The Canadian card collector here, and welcome back to day 341 of a daily deck review. And the deck that we're taking a look at today is the 2022 Cardistry-Con playing cards. So, with no further ado, let's take a look and see what we get. Here we have the 2022 Cardistry-Con playing cards here in a matte finish tuck box. So on the front, you can see it's in a kind of like an off-white, kind of grayish color tuck box here in that matte finish. With that kind of like design here on the front. It's kind of hard to tell what it is. Where you focus, it's kind of some kind of little kind of creature there. It's on like stilts there, has some baskets in its hand, and some kind of little rod or stick there on its back, some crazy hat. And then at the bottom, it says Cardistry-Con there. And that Roman numerals must be 2022. And then distributed by Art of Play, San Diego, 2022, made in the USA. Then on one side it says Cardistry-Con, and the other side says Cardistry-Con also, but it's in an orange colorway. So half the tuck box is this kind of like grayish color, and the other half is this bright orange color. And it says Cardistry-Con with the red text. On the other side was just a black text. Then on the bottom it says 2022 there with some lines going through it. And it was that orange background. And then on the back of the tuck box is you get a little sneak peek of that back design. It was that one more orange color. On the top it says 2022 on the gray. So you got half of it's that gray color, and then the other half is that orange color. Yeah. Now for the tuck flap. The tuck flaps is that orange colorway, and then the inner tuck flaps, one's orange and one's that kind of grayish color. Now we take the cards out of the box. On the inside tuck box, it is just plain white. Nothing too fancy or crazy going on inside there. But now that we took a look at the tuck box, time to take a look at the cards. And first we'll start with the back design. So here we have a one-way back design, a subtle kind of one-way back design. Yeah, and it's a fully inked back design, so there's no white border. It's a borderless. Well, I guess not fully borderless. But doesn't have like the standard white border going around. But it has that kind of like orange border going around there. It's that kind of like splatter or kind of goo kind of style there. And then in the middle, it has like a red and blue kind of spider web kind of like design going on there. It's kind of like a slight optical illusion in a way, but not entirely there. And it is a one-way back design, so if I was to flip it over, you could definitely tell like the corners. Like these corners kind of look the same, but they're lightly different. But these two corners, like there's more like a sharper kind of corner there compared to that one. So it's slightly like a one-way back design. Not too noticeable, but it is noticeable as for that one-way back design. And with fully inked cards, like the edges could chip a little bit there. Like these haven't really been used that much, but you could the edges could start turning white. Most of the darker colors would chip a lot more, but any fully inked deck could still chip. And then you got the now for the cards you get with the deck. Here we start with the first Joker, and it's also fully inked, so all the faces are fully inked with that kind of gray kind of colorway. And the first, I guess, Joker here is this like really like art card here. I'm not even sure what's going on here. Like some trees in the background, you got a bunch of people there like doing something there. And some people in the background there, so it's kind of old black and white, kind of like hand drawn kind of painting almost. And you got a second art card here with more people there and some more trees in the background there. So here's the two art cards there. I'm just gonna count those as the Jokers. And then you got the little sponsor card for the Cardistry-Con deck here. It says brought to you by Art of Play and Fontaine. So there's a collaboration between Art of Play and Fontaine. And then you got all the different sponsors there, like Anyone, Joker and the Thieves, Cardistry-Con, Bicycle, First, Dan and Dave, Missing, Cardistry Touch, Orbit, Murphy's Magic, and a bunch more there. It says Cardistry-Con, San Diego, California, June 17th and 19th of 2022. And it's just the back design. And the last extra card here is you get the little Cardistry-Con ad card there, kind of. It's just Cardistry-Con there, 2022. Distributed by Art of Play, 2022, made in the USA. And then you get to that custom Ace of Spades there, which has a custom like dotted kind of little border there. And then custom like number and pip there in the corner, which kind of like bolted on there. There's a little plate with the blue. And you got the Joker here. I mean the little character there in the middle there. Another one kind of on like stilts, kind of almost. There, and it's a lot kind of going on. There's a basket there. You got the stick there with a lag, and some creature there with a blue cape. And then the rest of the spades here are custom. There, you got the custom spade design there, and it's in that gray colorway. And then you got the kind of got that same kind of style that you had on the back design there. Here, looks like that like kind of like paint splatter, but not a paint splatter kind of design there. In that like bright blue there. That goes throughout the rest of the spades. Then you get to the core cards, Jack, Queen, and King of Spades, and they're fully custom as well. You got all those like different kind of creatures there. You got one in a barrel, and you got that one with a stick, and then you have that one with another stick there. So there's different kind of creatures there. And then you got the Ace of Diamonds here, which is also another like, creature there, just in a red colorway with like a harp and like a stool there. And that same kind of like design, like the border is different than the spades were. It's more that kind of electric kind of style there. You got the same kind of background. They're just in that red color with the gray diamonds there. Pretty. There are lightly custom diamonds there. And that goes throughout the rest of the diamonds. Then you get to the Jack, Queen, King of Diamonds. Fully custom once again, but it was the red colorway there. Same kind of plating in the corners there for the numbers and the letters. Then you got three different kind of creatures there. All those different items there. There's definitely a lot going on in some of these cards. And then you got the clubs here. In that blue colorway once again. And a different kind of border going on now. It's kind of like more of a cog style kind of border on this one. And then you got that light blue background there with the gray pips. And then you got the custom Ace of Spades there, another creature there. There's a little musical instrument there. And some of these creatures are missing some limbs, like some legs there. And the Jack, Queen, and King of Hearts. There's same kind of design there. Three different creatures there. And then you got that different kind of border there, the thick black line with a few dots on the outside there. And then the hearts are just that red background with the gray pips. And then lastly, the custom Ace of Hearts. There's another little creature there. Some buckets there in the head. But now that we took a look at the cards, time to test the handling. And first we'll start with the springs. But with fully inked cards, sometimes the cards could be a little bit thicker. Not always, but sometimes they're good. But now onto the springs. I can definitely tell the cards are a little bit slippery. Just because they're kind of still new. But the springs seem to be pretty smooth though. They're not like super stiff or anything. They still have some stiffness to it, so they're not like super flexible or bendy. But flexible enough to where they spring pretty good. So some pretty decent springs there. Now we'll move on to the fans. Well, as you can see, the cards spread pretty evenly. It's just the way the pips are kind of aligned on the card, just kind of lightly harder to see them. But they still spread pretty good. You can kind of see some of them sometimes, but it's just harder to see the pips. But they still spread pretty evenly. Now time for the Pharaoh. And the fairy was super smooth there, and they interlocked and weaved flawlessly. Now for the giant fan of that back design. Now for that reverse pharaoh. And the reverse pharaoh was not as smooth. I had definitely had to like slightly push them together because they were kind of lightly sticking together. But they still interlocked and weaved decently. Now for a giant fan of the faces. Now time for the riffle shuffle or wood shuffle. And this is the point in the video where that one-way back design will get mixed up. It's definitely more of a subtle one-way back design. Because it's a little bit harder to tell. But so the riffle shuffles and wood shuffles, they do work. They're just a little bit on the thicker side. So you definitely got to break these in. Because they're fully inked on the fronts and the backs. But they still work. They're just not like super smooth or anything. But they're still like smooth. They're just not like as smooth as they could be. But I can definitely tell they're getting a little bit more smoother over time. And now time for a few packet cuts. Well, the pack cuts are pretty good. They're a little slippery from time to time, but not too bad. They pack it pretty nicely. Yeah, they're not terrible handling with packet cut ability. They're pretty like average though. Now time for that one-handed cut or Charlier cut. Now time for the dribble. Well, the dribbles aren't bad. You definitely have the less grip with the faces up and more grip with the back design up. Now time for that spread fan. And lastly, spread the cards on the table. I can say it's a pretty nice deck. It's nothing. It's definitely a custom deck there. You got that kind of crazy style back design, which you have to get. For some people you might have to get used to it. And it took me a little while to get kind of used to it when I first seen it. But it's not bad. There, definitely bright colors there, so it's a decent back design. Nothing like too crazy going on there though. And then for the faces, they were fully custom there. It was that kind of gray kind of style for the card instead of like the white. Kind of like normal style there. You got the gray kind of tone to it. And they have this kind of like red and blue kind of back tone there. That kind of like, I'm not even sure what kind of style that is. What was that kind of style there? It's like the gray kind of pips there. So like the one color overlay there. And then the court codes are fully custom there with those different kind of creatures there on top there. Kind of artwork there. Some pretty interesting like artwork there for the court cards there. And then the jokers are these fully custom art cards there. Pretty interesting. Pretty different kind of design there. Not bad design there. I'm not gonna say it's one of my favorite designs, but I don't hate it. Yeah, I kind of have to grow on. It's starting to grow on me a little more. I just don't use the deck enough for it to be one of my favorites or anything there. But it's not a bad design. And then for the handling, I thought the handle looked pretty good there. They're fully inked, so that could affect the handling a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. But they're still pretty smooth, and they're definitely slippery. So the cards slid out of my hands a little bit, a few times there. You gotta be careful of that. Not too slidey though. But with that being said, fantastic handling and a decent design. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. And this has been day 341 of your daily deck review. This has been the 2022 Cardistry-Con playing cards from Art of Play and Fontaine. And I'm the Canadian Collector signing out. That's the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.